ladies and gentlemen, we are back. But it's up on my new little complaint over what we've been seeing for the last several years. A declining quality. I'm not saying it pro wrestling wise, not production wise for WWE, not financially, obviously. Even talent. It's off the borderline commentary. Now, the commentary is centrally important on the product, the wrestlers, and in the business as a whole. It tries to sell you in the content, the wrestlers, the storylines heading into the show, and over a strict basis, over what we've been seeing, the commentators were directly phased in on trying to sell you into the storylines of the match, not pseudoing plugs for commercials, stuff for the network in general, the pay per view, whatever happens backstage, private shit, whatever happens on Twitter. If it's high trending on Twitter, Hulu, Hulu Sports, ESPN. None of what the commentary is saying is interesting. Or else you want to go over a soliloquy or a huge rap sheet of Michael Cole's commentary that hedges in like this. Got him! Great scouting there by King Corbin. Moonsault! Lariat! A superplex! A falcon arrow! Clothesline! Clothesline! Dropkick! Dropkick! He just did a punch, Michael. Dropkick! It's mediocre how his declining commentary skills have diminished over to just plugging a multi-billion-dollar company. It's already gross enough for Michael Cole to at least give a damn about how the pro wrestling actually looks. And over his heel dynamic, at least him trying to actually proceed to actually get some of these guys over. And in that aspect, I at least cared about what Michael Cole had to say because he was in opposition of finally playing heel for the first time. So now we come into Corey Graves. Now, of course, he was in high demand after an injury took him out of the pro wrestling scene after, he was in a tag team with Neville, right? So the time when he came to NXT to do commentary, right on the money. He was highly acclaimed to be a commentator on the main roster from the acclaim of course, Ball Game, JBL, Booker T, acting autistic but funny at the same time, and Jerry King Lawler diminishing his commentary skills since the Attitude Era. And an early part of the Ruthless Aggression era that he's just the king now. He barely shows his smarmy but pervertive personality and still having experience and a foil out of Jim Ross's play-by-play for a majority of the boom period of the WWF to WWE era. So we got now like a total of at least five guys on commentary if we're not counting 205 Live, NXT, and NXT UK. And most of these guys either don't have a lot to say, or these guys had David Utunga, Beth Phoenix, Renee Young for like merely a year and a half on commentary, with Renee Young saying nothing except trying to copy off the other guy's commentary. There's nothing off smearing off Renee Young. She's a good interviewer, and other than just looking pretty and just stating the obvious, she actually has more detail to say in the interview. That I liked her shit that she did with The Miz back in the SmackDown Live when he was Intercontinental Champion. Besides the point, never got on a commentary table again. I wish I put myself to be a commentator. A sports commentator, even a pro wrestling one in the future. Don't know which, but every time I see Byron Saxton just mark off that Corey Graves hates black people, or they can only call like at least 5 moves in a match that's worth 20 minutes, and then they'll go off smearing off while there was like 17 moves done in the match. They'll cut off to whatever happened that was completely off topic, or at least going through whatever happens on the WWE network. They're not even selling the pay-per-view. Most of these guys are not even selling the matches. They're not even selling the wrestler per se, except doing what they did at least 15 years ago. For the continuity's sake and for, actually making viewers, hop in or off out of the show, these guys can't even, go and be like, okay, guys, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Tune in! Or some of these guys barely do cutoffs, like pure jockey crap or anything. Even NFL, baseball, any other sporting event does this, except WWE. For some apparent reason. Jim Ross used to do this, and he still does this to this day on Dynamite. So you're telling me these guys can't cut off? They're not good calling moves unless it's they're, selling the product a bit too much or, doing all this crap. Most of their simplistic move callings, even though there's more stuff going in the ring, and they can't even get into premier detail except a little bit of the time. And it's so much speaking of nothing. You think it's like first take of WWE commentary. And literally, WWE commentary is literally on action. They're near the action. They have a lot to say, whatever happens. On, in the ring or out of the ring. And these guys feel like very little invested unless there's a dumb promo or they're just hitting off of each other. The most you'll actually see are like premier interaction, then they're just there, is literally just Saxton and Corey Graves. And Corey Graves hates Saxton for some particular reason. Then they foil off that. And then they barely have anything saying in the matter because somehow Corey Graves just turns into a heel commentator if whenever he smears off to Mandy Rose to Alexa Bliss, or he just smears off to Elias or anybody else that's heel. And I guess it's supposed to change a bit of the dynamics. Just I want to say that the commentary is a big denunciation to why people don't watch the show, because they're always of this, impairing factor. If not two people have something to say, or at least one, or at least three people have something to say. The one time they even had four people on goddamn commentary back on SmackDown Live earlier in the shows, or at least on SmackDown when it was on Thursdays. And they had David Tonga, Byron Saxton, I think Joseph one time. They had Joseph and Michael Cole. They couldn't even play off that. Most of these guys barely had wrestling moves to call. They were just like, wow, or he caught him, or well scouted, or clothesline, or dropkick. And sometimes they even switch the moves around. I'm saying that they miscall it. I'm not saying that they switch the moves around like that. That sounds retarded to say. But other way, it's mediocre commentary. And off places that I question AEW, they always tell you the matches that are going to happen in the start of the show. They'll hype up pay-per-view. They'll get instant animated with the origin of the wrestler, sell off the moves that happen. They're actually going to try to get you invested. And most of what we should be getting, it should be pretty obvious. Yeah, guys like Vic Joseph and Dio Madden, and they're into Joseph Samoa Joe and not Corey Graves. And Byron Saxton on Raw. I don't even know why Byron Saxton still has a job still. He is a former pro wrestler, and yet he has nothing to say. Why? It's completely off cycle that a guy like Samoa Joe, nearly 20 years in the business, and the guy barely has a commentary job, but he can take the jobs away from two of the guys that are literally just circle jerking him, literally just curtain jerking him on commentary. He is more invested in the match, got a pure history of the moves, can actually sell off the moves and tell you what happens. He's more invested in whatever happens in the storyline, and he doesn't always try to sell off whatever happens in the goddamn network. It's just a pure fact that even a pro wrestler can do a job better than an actual journalist and a commentator. So it's dumb. And there's even guys that have personalities of pro wrestlers being more, investing and have more iconic quotes than Michael Cole saying, "Is it symbolic? Is it symbolic?" Trying to force feed these annoying iconic quotes that don't even feel like they're in the moment. And you can see how it is. Thanks back at WrestleMania 32, the time Shane McMahon fell out the goddamn cage, a Hell in a Cell cage, after an elbow drop to the Undertaker. He literally read "For the love of mankind" because of Undertaker tossed mankind for the hell out of the Hell in a Cell cage. So yeah, that was completely dumb. Michael Cole completely fell off, probably because of his old age and half-assed way of commentating at times. I heard good things because he does still have that type of commentating ability. I think at the time they did the NXT UK tournament for the NXT UK title, for United Kingdom title. I guess that was his suited stuff, but I guess that was because he had more freedom. But that's besides the point. The way Raw and SmackDown have the commentary, it is boring. It barely shows any enthusiasm, more immersion into the wrestling matches, and it just none of these guys have the particular personality that made them feel like Paul Heyman, Ross, even Vince McMahon at times, even how crap he was on commentary. You could at least feel like he's immersed in whatever the wrestler's doing. Of course, Jerry King Lawler in his early days, even Jonathan Coachman. Yeah, he was a successful heel commentator. Matt Striker, Taz, all these dudes I can name at the top of my head. Why was David Otunga on commentary if he has nothing to say? This nigga's from Harvard, and he still has nothing intelligent to say that I remember. Uh, fucking Jerry King Lawler now is at top ramen something on Akira Tozawa, and Michael Cole has nothing quotable ever to say in that match unless it's a dropkick or a lariat. Or sometimes he'll pull off one new vocab word in like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, depending on the matchup. It's crap. And Corey Graves is just trying to lick Carmelo's clip after SmackDown, so he barely has much to add on anymore. So it's just a detestable, crappy commentator quality, and I wish it was like any other company that at least feels more immersed. Even Impact has more competent commentators, and most of them are regurgitated WWE fodder. So even Mike Tenay feels more of a patented voice than Michael Cole, that's been in the company since '96, has the longest tenure and has still barely any quotable lines, unless he cussed like Corey Graves did last year. But that's besides the point. Yeah, but that's literally my 2 cents in the matter. I just wish like they had more, enthusiastic guys that actually could hold their tongue, feel a bit neutral, or at least have more entertainment value in the commentary than just be there. Jesus Christ, it just doesn't feel like a wrestling show, especially when your colored commentary barely have any personality in them, and that really hurts the show. So that's it coming from me. This is DST Show. Comment down below how you feel about the matter of the commentary style on WWE, or how you think it's declining, or in your opinion, how you think it's improving. This is it coming from me. I'll see you next time.